Hi there, I'm the Mythkeeper. Welcome back to my channel. This week I'm doing a video that was requested by a viewer like you. They wanted to know a little bit more about the Cosmic Caravan. And if you've never heard of the Cosmic Caravan, it's sort of like the Pathfinder version of the Zodiac or horoscopes. And in fact, it was a subject that I wasn't super up to speed on myself. So I did some research for this video, found it really interesting. I hope you get some value out of this too. Enjoy.
Astrology in the world of Pathfinder. A good place to start this video is to note that Golarion is a world very much like our own. It's a spherical planet with Earth-like gravity of similar size and mass to our own world. Like us, they have a 24-hour day, which represents a full rotation of the planet on its axis. And like us, they keep track of years, which occur every time Golarion makes a full rotation around the sun. Their year is fractionally shorter than our year, a quarter of a day shorter in fact, so although it still consists of 365 days, they get a leap year with an extra day only once every 8 years rather than once every 4 years. I find this to be a curious choice since in all other regards their calendar functions completely identically to our own. Although many calendars exist among the peoples of the Inner Sea, the one in widest use employs Absalom Reckoning, or AR for all of its dates. This reckoning system is based on the foundation of the city of Absalom, which occurred on the 1st of Abadius in the year 1. And because of Absalom's expansive influence, the city's calendar has achieved great popularity throughout the Inner Sea region and even beyond it. They have 12 months each year, and each month is named for an important deity and is roughly aligned to last as long as a cycle of Golarion's single moon around the planet. Like in our world, it's not a strict lunar calendar, so these months don't actually line up with the moon phases in any regular way. The months are Abadius, Calistral, Farast, Gosran, Desnus, Saraneth, Erastus, Aridus, Rova, Lamachan, Neth, and Cuthona. Each of these months have varying days of the year, just like ours do, between 30 and 31 days typically, except for Calistral, which is only 28 days, or 29 days on the rare leap years. Likewise, just as in our world, Golarion has a 7-day week, the weeks of which don't line up with the start and end dates of months, so some holidays are, for example, fixed to specific days on specific months, while other holidays are floating holidays that occur, say, on the first Sunday of Abadius. The 7 days of the week are Moon Day, Toil Day, Wheel Day, Oath Day, Fire Day, Star Day, and Sunday. In many nations, peasants are expected to work 6 out of the 7 days of the week, with Sunday often being a day of rest. Just like our planet does, Golarion also has a single moon. It orbits a yellow sun, and at night, in the heavens above, a number of stars can be seen to be moving in the sky overhead. It didn't take long for the early civilizations of Golarion to recognize consistent patterns in terms of the arrangements of those stars overhead, and they both began to use them for navigation, and also began to develop belief systems based on the movement of these systems. In Golarion, practitioners of astrology believe that the movements of the cosmos have a direct impact on the lives of its inhabitants. Despite the distance between celestial bodies and everyday life, many of Golarion's significant events have coincided with the alignment and conjunction of these cosmic forces. Astrology allows practitioners to extract meaning from celestial patterns by studying constellations and drawing conclusions about terrestrial events based on their observations. This process is both an art, a magical practice, and a science, requiring both observation and subjective interpretation. The interpretive components set it apart from other kinds of constructive practices that produce replicable results, such as alchemy, spellcraft, or engineering, leading some to find astrology a disreputable art. Nevertheless, knowledge of astrology is actually fairly widespread, and passionate astronomers soon learn that astrology tends to receive more funding from the wealthy and powerful, who are always looking to be more informed about the future than pure astronomy does. As a result, many astronomers end up dabbling in the more dubious science of astrology as well. Astrology on Golarion is diverse, but the most common tradition is the Cosmic Caravan. This system divides Golarion's night sky into 13 sections, each containing a unique constellation called a sign. Although the constellations' movements are consistent, astrologers interpret the positions of Golarion's planets, suns, and other celestial bodies, such as comets, in relation to these 13 signs. Skilled astrologers can predict events and determine an individual's personality traits based on the time and place of birth and the relationships between the many orbiting bodies in the sky. The Cosmic Caravan's origins are unclear, but some scholars believe it predates the Age of Enthronement. A prevalent theory is that it was originally an Aslanti methodology, and that both the Varisians and the Lyrgeni, who follow a similar system, were working from the same ancient source material. The Cosmic Caravan is a series of constellations that are part of a larger astrological tradition. Each constellation corresponds to a specific period of time, with each one symbolizing different aspects of a journey taken by a group of travelers, or, as the system's naming suggests, a cosmic caravan. The journey begins with the thrush, which signals the arrival of the travelers. The lantern bearer welcomes them into the cosmos, while the newlyweds represent devotion and new beginnings. The bridge takes the travelers across to new places and worlds to discover, and the daughter heralds the coming spring, signifying new adventures and renewals. The rider watches over the group to warn them of danger, and the patriarch leads them through the danger and serves as a protector. The wagon is the vehicle that carries them through the sky, with the pack following close behind. The mother provides comfort and nourishment, and the stargazer searches for new wonders. The stranger is a fleeting companion who passes through the travelers' lives, while the follower is death himself, always awaiting at the end of the journey. Now let's discuss the signs in more detail, the dates where they are present in the sky, at least in the inner sea region, and what it means to be born under that star sign. The thrush, from 18th Chthona to 20 Abadius, or December 18th to January 20th. This curious bird heralds the coming of the travelers, its wings spread wide. Those born under the sign of the thrush are open-hearted and gregarious. They tend to speak with clear voices and have clarity of vision. Bards are often born under the sign of the thrush, as those born under this sign love to sing and to raise the spirits of those around them. The lantern bearer, 21 Abadius to 16th Calistral, or January 21st to February 16th. Guiding the caravan past danger and monotony, this serpentine angel lights the way with a torch of inspiration. Lantern bearers are light bringers by nature, which means they are drawn to the mysterious. They love to solve puzzles and explore the unexplored. Lantern bearers can sometimes be obsessive, and that can lead them to having interpersonal challenges. Alchemists and wizards and other characters who love to learn are often born under the sign of the lantern bearer. The newlyweds, 17th Calistral to 11 Pharast, February 17th to March 11th. Slipping away for privacy, this couple, represented by a pair of intertwined bodies or scarves, embodies devotion and new life. The sign of two lovers intertwined as one signals the birth of someone empathic and connected to those around them. Characters born under the sign of the newlyweds may be more naturally persuasive than other characters and possess an innate charisma. Rogues and sorcerers are often born under the sign of the newlyweds. The bridge, 12th Pharast to 18th Gosran, March 11th to April 18th. A span across danger, this constellation carries the travelers to new adventures and separates the dark of winter from the light of summer. As the bridge connects distant places, so too do those born under the sign of the bridge connect those around them. Those with the sign of the bridge are natural extroverts, forming many connections, but often struggling to make deep, meaningful relationships because they have a flitting, transient spirit. Those born under the sign of the bridge are prone to wanderlust and adventure, and rarely stay put in one place for long. The daughter, 19th Gosran to 13th Desnas, April 19th to May 13th. This light-hearted dancer heralds new beginnings. She can be found skipping into the warm days of spring, filling them with joy and song. Those born under the sign of the daughter tend to be mercurial, shifting their points of view often as they learn new things about themselves and the world around them. The daughter is the least dogmatic sign, always open to new ideas and concepts, and always ready for new beginnings. Innovators and freethinkers are often born under the sign of the daughter. The rider, 14th Desnas to 20 Saranith, May 14th to June 20th. This stern barbarian and his painted mount watch over the caravan, sometimes a boisterous companion, other times a solemn warden. Those born under the auspice of the mounted caravan guard, whose very presence deters danger, are often suspicious by nature. They tend to be reluctant and introverted, but when they do form connections, they form deeply and fast. They take betrayal particularly hard, as they are slow to trust to begin with. Cavaliers, paladins, and rangers are all often born under the sign of the rider. The Patriarch, 21 Saranith to 20 Erastus, June 21st to July 20th. The father of the Wanderers reliably steers the wagon through danger. Like the father of the Cosmic Caravan, those born under the sign of the Patriarch have an innate sense of their own direction, often in both metaphorical and very literal sense. Many are natural leaders, but the most common shared trait among those with the sign of the Patriarch is a strong sense of duty and powerful personal convictions. The wagon, 21 Erastus to 10 Aridus, July 21st to August 10th. The wagon is the vehicle that conveys the travelers through the sky, represented as a seven-armed wheel or star. Like the means of conveyance itself, those born under the sign of the wagon are blessed with the extraordinary ability to move past their worries. so they tend to be calm and easygoing even under stressful circumstances. Those born under the sign of the wagon prefer to avoid conflict than to engage it directly, and even those who are capable warriors live by the adage, those who fight and run away live to fight another day. The Pack, 11 Aridus to 16 Rova, or August 11th to September 16th. The beasts that follow the wagon represent dutiful hounds, or in some interpretations, scavenging wolves. Those born under the sign of the Pack believe in protection of numbers, and will typically build large communities for themselves. They form natural kinship with those born under the sign of the Bridge, who similarly enjoy having larger social networks. They tend to be more dutiful, however, and also hate to see a thing go to waste. The Mother, 17th Rova to 30 Lamachan, September 17th to October 30th. Depicted as a cauldron over a warm fire, the spiritual heart of the caravan shares her bounty of food and comfort to stave off the coming chill. The Mother is a natural caretaker. She is more concerned about the needs of those around herself than she is with her own, sometimes to her own detriment. Despite her generosity, like the rider, she has trouble forming deeper connections, because her unabated generosity often leads others to taking her for granted. The Stargazer, 31 Lamachan to 20 Neth, October 30th to November 20th. Either a prophet or a fool, this robed traveler casts his gaze ever towards what lies beyond, searching for either new wonders or treasures lost. With his head in the clouds, the stargazer sees far-off events, but misses the pitfalls directly before him. Dreamers and storytellers are often born under the sign of the stargazer. If you have heard the expression, to miss the forest for the trees, then stargazers are the opposite, being the types to only see the forest, and to forget that the forest itself is composed of individual trees. They see the big picture, but not the small one. The Stranger, 21 Neth to 29 Neth, November 21st to November 29th. A fleeting companion to the wanderers, this outsider passes through their lives on his own journeys, and is represented by a single staring eye. Like the lone traveler that walks alongside the caravan for but a brief while, those born under this sign have a natural way with strangers. Like those born under the sign of the Daughter, the stranger is a shifting character, but these changes are not evolutions, but aspects presented conditionally. Strangers are multifaceted individuals, but ones who rarely show all parts of themselves to any one person at one time. The Follower, 30 Neth to 17th Chthona, November 30th to December 17th. Trailing behind the travelers and only seen on the darkest of nights, this veiled figure awaits at the end of every journey, the constant companion, Death himself. Those born under the sign of the dark figure that trails the caravan, the spectre of death, are often morose and somber individuals. Like riders, they can be introverted, and like lantern-bearers, followers can be contemplative. Followers experience loss and pain acutely, but rarely show signs of this outwardly, preferring to keep their true feelings to themselves. In addition to the 13 signs of the Cosmic Caravan, there are other constellations that astrologers recognize in the night sky, and while they are not formally part of the caravan, astrologers often use them to interpret omens and portents as well. These include Ardacondis. This constellation depicts a great hero who wrestles the kraken in the sky to keep it from choking the world. When it shines brightly, it is considered a sign that those who witness it will overcome a great struggle. The Kraken. Adjacent to the constellation of Ardacondis is the Kraken, whose many tentacles continue to attempt to ensnare the hero. The Kraken conversely indicates a great challenge is coming. The Fang. The constellation of the Fang is portentous for vampires and scavengers. When it shines brightly in the sky, it is a bad omen for all goodly folk. The Ferryman. The symbol of the psychopomp claims lost souls. Many believe that when the ferryman is clearly visible in the night sky, it means someone important had died the previous day, or is omened to die on the following day. The Gecko. This constellation depicts a small but ambitious lizard that climbed up to the top of the sky. The higher the gecko appears in the night sky, the more ambitious a task you may take on the following day. The Sturge. This constellation depicts a foolish sturge who flew too high and got his nose stuck in the sky. The sturge is the inverse of the gecko. The higher it appears in the sky, the more foolhardy a decision you make tomorrow may turn out to be. The sturge is fickle and unpredictable, though, and sometimes with great risks may come unexpected rewards. Gigas Major, the old giant. Its presence in the night sky may indicate it is a good time to listen to the wisdom of your elders. Gigas Minor, the young giant. Its presence in the night sky may indicate it is a good time to break from tradition and go your own way. The Sphinx. This sign depicts a great and powerful Sphinx, who knows many secret things and whom even the gods respect. When this constellation hangs brightly in the sky, it signifies that it will be a good day to learn things, for it indicates that you will likely both retain that knowledge and need it in the days to come. The Throne. A constellation depicting a grandiose throne, said to be reserved for the final king. The presence of the sign prominently in the night sky indicates it will be a portentous day for kings, queens, and leaders of all sorts. The Key. A simple constellation of a key, but which astrologers believe to be the very key that Abadar made to unlock the first vault. Abadar's sign is portentous to merchants, tradesfolk, and caravans. The Hawk. This constellation depicts a powerful bird of prey who hunts the heavens and defends the sun. When this sign hangs brightly in the sky, it will be a portentous day for bodyguards, fighters, paladins, and war priests. The Sorcerer. Some believe this constellation depicts Nethys himself, but all agree it is a sorcerer of great power. When this sign hangs brightly in the sky, it will be a portentous day for sorcerers, wizards, maguses, and witches. The Spider. The spider is a secretive creature who weaves the night in its silken strands. When this sign hangs brightly in the sky, it will be a portentous day for assassins, thieves, and rogues. It is also a constellation of significance to worshippers of Grandmother Spider, who see their goddess in this sign. The Tarrasque, a grim constellation depicting an ancient terror who sleeps among the stars for now, but it is said will return when the time comes to end the world. The Worm. The great star dragon in the sky. For some it is a representation of Apsu, the father of metallic dragons, and an omen for good. For others it is a representation of Dahak, the father of chromatic dragons, and an omen for evil. Some believe it is both, a two-faceted constellation that requires great care to interpret correctly. The Sea Wraith. This constellation is said to depict the vessel of Besmara, the pirate queen. The symbol is considered auspicious for pirates, raiders, and sea monsters. It is also said by some that the movement of the Sea Wraith in the night sky can be used to predict the location of the Sea Wraith in the maelstrom, and that her deific realm is connected to these stars in some poorly understood way. I discussed the Sea Wraith in more detail in my Outer Planes video about the Hells. The Stare of Stars. The Stare of Stars is a line of stars that points the way to the North Star, also called cynosure. If it is a cloudy day and cynosure isn't as visible in the night sky, the Stare of Stars can help one find it, and therefore navigate at night. Cynosure is also astrologically significant, being both crucial to nighttime navigation and also doubling as the deific realm of the goddess Desna. I discuss cynosure in more detail in my planar guide video to the demi-planes. Those are the major constellations of significance as viewed primarily through the lens of the inner sea. The same applies to the Cosmic Caravan, which despite its popularity is not universal. For example, in Tian Zodiac there is a zodiac that features 12 signs, and the important and influential sign in a given year, month, day, or even hour is determined by a complex cycle closely tied to the moon's phases. Each sign in the Tian Zodiac zodiac comes from an ancient Tian legend, and the constellations are said to be guarded by the imperial dragons who give the dragon empires their names. It is said that in Tian Zodiac the stars guide the lives of all who dwell beneath their light. Whether they are deities, spirits, demons, dragons, or mortal beings, for accounts vary among the people of the land, the constellations of the sky are said to lay out a path for every mortal to tread. Each year, a new constellation becomes ascendant in the night sky, and within that year, constellations rise and fall by the month and hour, influencing new souls and overseeing their charges. The primary constellations and the attributes they are said to impart to those born under their signs are as follows. The Underworld Dragon. This constellation is also called the Guardian. Those born under this sign are tenacious, foresighted, and industrious, but can be secretive, brooding, and cold. The Swordswoman. In some cultures they call her the Warrior. Her children are resolute, daring, and charismatic, but they can be foolhardy, hot-tempered, and opportunistic. The Sea Dragon. The sea folk call him Father Ocean, and his wards are gracious, generous, and vigorous. They are also tempestuous, brash, and fickle. The Swallow. The bird varies by culture, possibly becoming hawk, eagle, or egret, but is always female. Those born under this sign are alert, sociable, and agile. Their detractors call them flighty, impetuous, and argumentative. The Ox. Among the Tian Datang and the Tian Huan, this sign is also called the water buffalo. The children of the ox are dependable, honest, and solid, but can be inflexible, narrow-minded, and angry. The Sovereign Dragon. Also known as the Empress, the sovereign dragon offers calm, charisma, and nobility to her children, but they are also known to be arrogant, demanding, and manipulative. The Ogre. Though the Ogre is typically a monster, the constellation that bears his name is an aloof guardian that is not inherently evil. His children are strong, self-sufficient, and daring, but can likewise be selfish, aggressive, and solitary. The Forest Dragon. Those born under the Forest Dragon are shrewd, cautious, and sensual, but can be dishonest, vengeful, and remote. The Blossom, also called the Cherry Tree. Those of the Blossom are beautiful, artistic, and insightful, but can be fragile, egotistic, and driven. The Dog. Those born under the sign of the Dog are friendly, loyal, and optimistic, but they can also be lazy, aggressive, and gluttonous. The Sky Dragon. Those the Lord of the Sky guides are intellectual, graceful, and foresighted, but like their namesake, these people can be distrustful, disdainful, and oversensitive. The Archer, also called the Breath. Her children are observant, patient, and self-assured, but can also be self-indulgent, distant, and jealous.
Thank you so much for watching. Now you can do horoscopes for your own characters. That's pretty cool. If you enjoyed this content, please let me know in the comments below. I read all of them. I really appreciate them. Thank you so much. I'll see you next week.